Yes. What's going on, family? What is up, guys? Welcome to today's session. We have less than a minute left, fam, before we get this thing on the road. Go ahead and drop those locations in the chat. I see we got the Bahamas in the building early. I see we got my man Bert in the house checking in. Baltimore represent. I see you guys. Go ahead and drop those locations, family, and we're gonna get this thing started very, very shortly. Let's get it. Yes. What's going on, family? Welcome to tonight's session with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys as usual, because it's another day that we're able to come on here, guys, and ultimately just get better together. Really just go ahead and do what it takes to really ultimately perfect this skill set, guys, that we're all really trying to perfect, and I say that so that we really understand, guys, what it really takes to do this, right? Because I've been trading now for 7.5 years and I still have not even perfected this, not even close to it, right? Because I feel like for me, perfecting it is when I'm actually up billions of dollars, right? Now that's with a B, okay? That is with a B, right? So, I'm not even close to even perfecting this skill set, neither, guys. And I put in a lot of time and a lot of hours into really just learning this skill. So really just keep things perspective, guys, especially when you're going through this, especially if you're newer to this entire opportunity, if you're newer to trading, if you're newer to this lane. You really have to come in with the right expectations, but you also really have to come in, guys, with the mindset that you're going to make this work no matter what, right? It has to work, or it has to work, guys. Go ahead and write that in the chat. This has to work. Write that in the chat for me today, right? Write that in the chat for me, guys, right? This has to work. Okay, let me know in the chat if you guys feel what I'm saying right now, right? I see we got Chicago in the building. We got Alabama. What's going on, Tina? We got Louisiana in the house. Florida in the house. What's going on, Tyree? We got Singapore in the building. ATL on the check-in. New Jersey. Linda, what's going on? We got Colorado in the house. Houston, Texas. Shout out to you guys out there in the H-Town. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Right, let's see who else. We got Vermont in the building. Shout out to my guy Kyle. We got New York City in the building as well. What is up, guys? Welcome to tonight's stream. Super excited to be here once again with every single one of you guys. If you guys do me one solid, just do me one favor, go ahead and just like this video. Okay, go ahead and smash the like button on this video, family, just so that we can go ahead and really let YouTube know that you guys are actually excited for this actual call, right? Let YouTube know that you guys are excited for what we got going on tonight, so that YouTube can actually go ahead and bless us and bless other people by putting it in front of them as well, right? The algorithm really does work based off engagement, all right? So the more people that are commenting, the more likes that you get, things like that is going to really encourage YouTube to go ahead and spread this video out to a lot more people. And that's, again, one of my bigger goals that I have here is to eventually become one of the biggest YouTubers, guys, when it comes to Forex content, right? And I know for a fact I could do that. All right, I know for a fact I could do that, and it's not because of the value that I'm going to provide, because I feel like personally I provide top tier level value, but it's also because of the community that we're about to create here, right? The community that's about to be created throughout this entire movement is going to be, unlike no other, right? Like there's no other community going to be as strong as ours. There's no other community that's going to be as more powerful as ours. There's no other community out there that's going to have more successful traders than ours. Right, and it's because we're here putting in the work every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's because we're also learning, guys, the most important things of trading, right? What it actually really takes to truly master this skill set, right? No fluff, no BS. We're not here trying to, stroke no type of egos. We're here just coming together to learn and get better and really just take things up a completely another level, right? So let's see who else we got in the building today. New York City, I see you in the house. Let's see, this has to work, family, right? That's the mindset that you have to have, especially when you're trying to learn something that is as complex as trading, all right? Because trading, again, guys, is probably one of the most difficult things to do in this world, right? I'm just being honest with you guys, right? Again, I'm going to tell you guys what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, right? But learning how to trade, guys, whether it's Forex, whether it's stocks, whether it's futures, whether you're trading commodities, right? It really doesn't matter, right? The skill set itself is trading, okay? Trading is not specifically tied to a specific market, Okay. Trading is the skill. Once you learn the skill of trading, then you can go ahead and absolutely take advantage of various different financial markets that we actually have, access to, right? Again, including the stock market and all these other markets out there, guys. So when you actually learn the skill set, which is going to take time, it's going to take energy, it's going to take money, right? It's going to take a lot of change, from the person that you currently are today to the person that can eventually actually do this, right? But although it is going to be very, very hard, it is also going to be extremely, extremely worth it, right? Now let's actually talk about that a little bit. Okay, so what are the pros and cons to trading, right? This is something I actually wanted to start off today with, right? Is really just talking about the pros and cons to trading and the pros and cons to actually taking this serious. Right now, I want to start with a few cons, okay? And again, I'm going to be very honest with you guys, right? A few cons to actually trading, right? The first one is the amount of time and effort that it really actually takes to make this thing work, right? And again, you can consider, I personally going to consider it a con just because I know a lot of people really don't understand what it really takes, right? Because guys, we're talking about you have to put in hours, countless hours to really get this thing down packed, right? So we got the boy Skaggs in the building. Shout out to my boy Skaggs. Appreciate you, my brother. Right? It really takes, guys, a lot of time and a lot of energy for you to really get to a point where you're actually seeing consistent results. Right? Don't let social media fool you. Right? Don't let a lot of these other gurus who only show profits fool you. Right? Trading is a skill set, guys, that is going to have to be developed over a long period of time. Okay, yes, you can come in and in your first month or two, get that beginner's luck, right? And you can flip an account or two. But I guarantee you long term, it's not going to be that way, right? Because trading, guys, is all about going from the person that you currently are to the person that you need to become in order for you to really see the results that you're after, right? So one con to trading Forex is really just the amount of time and effort and energy that you have to put in, right? I'm talking about you have to put in years of hard work, guys, before it actually really starts to make sense. Okay, that's one con, right? Another con is that there is going to be a lot of inconsistency when it comes to trading, right? There's going to be periods, guys, where once you do get this thing down packed, there's going to be periods where, yeah, you're seeing a lot of money, right? You're seeing a lot of gains on your account. You're making money hand over fist, right? It's like crazy. Once you understand how to trade, the amount of money that you can make is absolutely endless, right? But there's also going to be periods where you're not really getting nothing, right? So another con to this lane is the inconsistencies that you're going to experience. There's going to be higher highs, but there's also going to be lower lows throughout this journey. And most people only want to see higher highs when it comes to trading. But when the lower lows come, that's when most people start to fail. And that's when most people fold. Right? So a major con to trading is that it is very, very inconsistent income. Right? Market conditions, guys, constantly change. All right? Your strategy might work for you right now, but in a different season in the year, it might not be as consistent as what you're used to. Right? That's why it's so important to not just practice risk management, but also practice money management so that you are, at least during those positive seasons, able to take money out of the markets. Right? So that you're able to actually go ahead and grow back your bank account, right? Or grow your cryptocurrency portfolio, whatever it is that you want to do. Right? But there is going to be a lot of inconsistencies, and it is what it is. That's just a part of the game, right? It is what it is. Now, due to those inconsistencies in the market, right? For those of you guys that are not aware, but actually getting approved for a lot of different things, guys, whether it's housing, whether it's vehicles, right? You got to understand the inconsistencies in the market will make it a little bit harder for you to also get approved for certain things that you might normally be getting approved for through your 9 to 5. Right? Now, obviously, if you're making a shit ton of money, then it really doesn't matter how inconsistent you are, right? If you have, your your tax return showing how much you're making, then that really doesn't matter, right? But as a newer trader, especially those of you guys that want to go full time, you have to understand that it is going to be very hard for you to actually get approved for a lot of things that you might need, right? Like an apartment, like a car loan, right? Because again, the inconsistencies are going to be there, right? And these banks and these lenders, guys, they don't care about your withdrawals. That's not what they're focused on. They want to see how you've been doing for a period of time. You can have a massive month, 1 month, right? And show that, and they're going to be like, man, I don't want to see that. I want to see consistency. Consistency. Now, again, if you get your tax return, then that in itself will be great proof, right? Because I see a lot of traders, you know, they always talk, they bring this up. You know, certain traders bring it up talking about the inconsistencies, but when your tax returns are also booming, it doesn't really matter, right? For me, it really doesn't matter about my inconsistencies because my tax returns are booming, right? My tax returns show what's up, right? But as a newer trader, these are things that you have to be prepared to deal with. That's another con. Right, but let's talk about some pros real quick, right? Because there's a bunch more cons to it, but let's talk about some pros. Right, obviously when you learn the skill set, see, now you're a walking ATM machine. Right, now when you learn the skill set, now you're able to literally come into the market, guys, and really take money out of this market. Pretty much like you're pretty much taking it out of thin air, right? You're literally a button pusher, right? You're pressing buttons and you're able to make money. You're pressing buttons and you're able to make money. Where else can you literally go ahead and press a couple buttons from the comfort of your own house and make money? Right? There's not too many skill sets that actually allow you to do that. So that's one of the major cons to this, right? Another major con to trading Forex is the fact that you can do this anywhere in the entire world. It doesn't matter where you're at. Right? One thing that I've always wanted to do, guys, right? Especially when I really got into this entrepreneurship journey about 7.5, 8 years ago, right? I wanted to be able to make money whether I was here in my office or here in my room, in my office at my house, or whether if I was on the beach over there in not in Costa Rica, right? Whether I was on the beach over there in the Bahamas, right? I want to be able to make money whether I'm here in my house or whether I'm over there in the jungle in Costa Rica, right? That's a major pro, right? Because once you get this thing down packed, the only thing that you really need is a laptop or a cell phone and access to internet, access to Wi-Fi. That's game changer. There's not a lot of opportunities that actually allow you to do these things. Right? So there's a lot of pros and cons to this. But I want you guys to make sure that you guys are prepared to go through all the struggles with all the ups, right, that are going to come with it. And I want you guys to also really be prepared for everything that's going to come throughout this entire journey. All right, but ultimately, the pros by far outweigh the cons. Right? The pros to trading outweigh the cons tenfold. Right? Because another cool thing that I love about trading as well, and this is what a lot of people don't tell you, is that trading is really going to show you who you really are as an individual. Abel, what do you mean by that? Right? Matter of fact, I'm going to talk to you guys tonight real quick before we get into this, right? Trading is truly going to show you who you really are as an individual, right? Trading is going to show you how disciplined you truly are. Trading is going to show you how emotional of a person you really are. Trading is going to show you guys how much patience you have as a person, right? Trading is going to really test you as a human being. And that's why trading is all about self-mastery more than anything, right? We all know, guys, that there's 3 ways to analyze a market, right? Technical analysis, fundamental analysis, sentimental analysis, right? We understand these things. That's not brand new. But what you need to understand is that trading truly is all about self-mastery, your ability to control yourself and manage yourself and figure out who you are as a person. That's what's going to really dictate whether you see results in this game or not. If you're able to truly understand who you are, where you're at, and if you're also able to really understand what it takes to go ahead and get to the next level. All right, I want you guys to write that in the chat, family. Write self-mastery in the chat real quick. Write self-mastery in the chat real quick, right? Because this is so important. Write self-mastery in the chat. Because that's really what it takes, right? A lot of people ask, what's the golden sauce to trading, Abel? Right? What's the golden nugget? The golden nugget is that you really have to master yourself. Yourself. Master yourself. Your ability to really be the best version of yourself. And how do you do that? Right? Well, two things. You have to have awareness. Right? I'm very big on awareness. Right? I talk about awareness all the time. Right? Awareness is probably one of my favorite words. Okay? You have to have a high level of awareness of what you are currently doing right, of what you are currently doing wrong, of yourself. You have to have a high level of awareness, right? And if you truly are disciplined, and if you truly are patient, right? You have to have a high level of awareness to understand if your emotions is what's killing you in this game. But here's the next thing, right? It's not just awareness, right? You also have the discipline, right? It's two parts, right? I truly believe, guys, right, that the best traders in the world, they have a high level of awareness matched with a high level of discipline. And that's why they're able to see the results that they're looking for. It's because they have a high level of awareness and a high level of discipline. That's the game changer. If you want to know the secret sauce to trading, then go ahead and create yourself a high level of awareness, but also match that with a high level of discipline, and watch what your trading actually does. Watch how your life completely changes now because of this skill set. And not just because of this skill set, but once you actually raise your awareness and your discipline in life overall, all aspects of your life are truly going to go ahead and change. Every single aspect. All right, you're going to be a lot more aware of everything that happens around you. And you're going to have a lot more discipline to react to certain things, right, in certain ways. Trading has made me a much better person. How many of you guys can agree with me? Right? Can anybody agree with me with that? Trading, this skill set right here, learning how to trade for the past 7 years has made me such a better person because now I'm more aware of everything. Now I have a lot more discipline in life. Now I have a lot more patience in life, right? And I realize the patient thing as well because, first of all, I'm a husband, right? I'm a father of 3. As a parent and as a husband, you normally think that you have a high level of patience, right? Dealing with a wife or a significant other and dealing with a bunch of children. Guys, I didn't know true patience until I really started learning how to trade. Right? But what it did, it also made me a better father. Right? It also made me a better husband. Right? Because now I'm so used to actually following the rules when it comes to trading that now it just correlates to my everyday life. Right? Where now if my wife tells me to do something, I'm usually going to be doing it. No questions asked, right? Because I'm so used to just doing things now, right? If my kids are over here driving me insane, now I have a much higher ability to actually ignore it, right? Because my patience also went through the roof now. Now I have a lot more patience when it comes to dealing with my children who are annoying as hell. I love them to death, but these 3 are annoying. Right? And again, I love my wife to death as well, but there's certain times where things get a little crazy. But now my patience allows me to also deal with things a certain way. Right? So now my relationship, even with my family, has improved. And it's all because of these key concepts that I've been able to learn and develop with trading. This is crazy. Right? I know a lot of people are probably thinking like, oh no, this dude is just talking, da da da. You'll see. Give it some time, right? Continue to work at this. And you're going to see how much of a different person you will become through this because of these key foundational things that we're learning through trading. It's just a fact. You can't argue that with me. Right? It's just reality. Any professional trader will tell you the same exact thing, that they grew as a person overall in every aspect of life, all because of learning this skill set. And I'm going to be honest. Right, and then we're going to get into the charts, right? I'm going to be honest. Those of you guys that are not able to be disciplined, that are not able to have high awareness, then I'm pretty sure in your life as well, and this is, again, no disrespect to nobody, because I'm not talking to anybody directly. But if you're not able to be disciplined on the charts, then I'm pretty sure you're not disciplined in real life. If you're not able to have patience on the charts, then I'm pretty sure you have no patience in real life. I'm pretty sure if you don't know how to actually properly manage risk or manage your money correctly, right? Because money management is important. Like, really think about this, right? Money management is so important. So if you're not able to manage your trading account, then I'm pretty sure your bank account is also hurting as well. In fact, Skaggs told me that like 5 years ago, right? He has said literally, if you're not able to manage your trading account, or if you're not able to manage your bank account correctly, then you're not going to be able to manage your trading account correctly. Oh my God, that's a bar. When I heard that, that really changed everything for me, right? Because I heard when Skaggs said that about 5 years ago, it was at a point in my life where I was not able to manage my bank account. I wasn't able to manage no type of money. I would get money and I would blow it immediately, right? I was really a consumer. I would get paid and it was gone immediately. I had no sense of no real money management skills back then. But I want you guys to really understand this, guys, right? If you cannot manage the money in your bank account, you're not going to be able to manage the money in your trading account. Because it's all about the habits that you have to really develop, right? It's all about the habits that have to be developed. Money management is a skill. It's a habit that needs to be developed. Now, I know this probably, and again, I know this is probably really, really hitting home for a lot of y'all. And I wanted to, right? Because I need you guys to be aware of what's really killing your guys' dreams of being a professional trader. So really need to start working on all aspects outside of trading, right? Or at least use these principles that you're learning inside of trading to also help you really develop better habits overall on the outside world. Because that's what it really takes, guys. So really think about that. How disciplined are you in real life right now? How patient are you in real life right now? How aware are you in real life right now? Right? Because everything that we're going through right now in our current day is everything that we have to go through, that we deserve to go through, right? We go through things that we have to go through because of our current situations, our current mindset, and all that thing. Everything that we're currently going through, guys, we are attracting into our life, whether we want to agree to it or not, based off our actions. Like, I get it. Everybody wants to learn technicals and learns how to mark up a chart and all this cool stuff. But no, it's not going to get you nowhere. You can be the best at marking up charts. I felt like I was Picasso on the charts, right? For the longest, my first 2.5 years, 3 years, I could mark up the best chart in the world. Ain't nobody that could mark up a chart better than me back then. But it never made me no money. What's the point of being Picasso on the charts, creating a beautiful chart, creating a beautiful setup, but still not making money on it? That's low-key embarrassing. And that's what I went through. And it was because I really didn't focus on the main important things, right? Those habits that I keep on talking about. Man, this is some sauce, guys. If you guys are feeling me right now, drop some 4s in the chat, right? Because I know a lot of you guys is really, really relating to what I'm saying right now. Whether you want to agree to it or not, I know for a fact a lot of you guys are relating to what I'm saying. Drop some 4s in the chat if you guys are relating with me. Right? If you guys are getting what I'm saying right now. And I highly encourage you guys, if you guys have a community that you guys trade with, or if you guys know people that are also trading right now, and you know they need to hear this video is recorded, right? Like, it's going to be on my YouTube forever. Send them this video. Let them hear this. Right? Because you need to hear this. Let other people know that this is really what's probably holding you back. Right? Because you're not going to do better on the charts than you're doing in real life. I'm just being honest. And I'm talking about in terms of habits. I'm just being honest with y'all. All right? So, again, you guys know, I hope you guys know, I'm pretty sure all you guys know, especially all that have been on these sessions long enough, you guys know that I should really just speak out of my heart. I speak from passion because I really want to see people succeed. Like, my goal is to really create the largest community of profitable traders. All right, like, I get it. They say, 5%, less than 5% of people that attempt to do this end up failing, right? But I want my community to be the difference, right? I want this community right here, every single one of us on this call, right? I want like 50% of us on this call to really become successful traders. At least 50%, right? And I know we could do it because I'm leading with real value, real information, real sauce that can really change your situation. Right, so let's go ahead and get into it now, guys, and see what we ultimately got going on. Let's get back to the charts real quick. And let's go ahead and see what the markets have ultimately been doing. They have not done a damn thing. Right? Like the markets have not done nothing at all week, right? Besides the yen pairs. Right? The only thing that's been moving in a direction is the yen pairs. Right? Everything else, guys, has been going sideways. Like every single market that at least I look at has been range bound, right? We're talking about gold going sideways. Right? We're talking about EURUSD, again, going sideways. Right? These are the type of market conditions, guys, where if you're more of a trend trader like I usually am, these are probably the markets where you really just take a step back and just chill. Right? Where you don't force anything, right? You don't force nothing because there's nothing to be forced, right? These markets are extremely choppy. AUD/USD. Look at this. Choppy. Going sideways. Right? It's now starting to drop. Right? But still going sideways. Right? GBPUSD. What do you guys think is going to happen? Going sideways. Literally. Going sideways, right? Look at the indices. The indices overall. What have the indices been doing? Pretty much nothing. Going sideways. SPX 500 going sideways. NAS 100 going sideways. US 30 going sideways. Right, guys? Go ahead and drop a sideways in the chat real quick for me. Right? Go ahead and drop a sideways in the chat. Because that's all we've been experiencing all week here. All week here for a lot of these markets. Right, like I said, the only difference between any of these, and I mean the only ones that are really like trendy, and again, I haven't looked at a lot of the the cross pairs too much. All right, the only cross pairs that I have on my chart that are not traded against the dollar is pretty much the pound yen. Right, but anything against the yen, that's the only thing that really been moving. Right, just because the yen is just extremely weak. Right, the yen is honestly like probably by far one of the weakest currencies across the board. Right, so this is the only one that's really been trending, right, is anything against the yen, right? USD/JPY has just continued to go higher, which again, we spoke about this, right? GBPJPY has just continued to go higher. Again, we spoke about this. This is no different. Right, shout out to Von Next Door. I see you. Welcome to the family. Right, I'm not sure if you just now subscribed or if you've been subscribed, but I'm pretty sure you might have just subscribed. Welcome to the family. I appreciate you.
Bluetooth.
Right, you guys know I love to show love to all of my newest subscribers. So if you guys are new to the familia, if this is your first time on one of my sessions, please go ahead and let me know in the chats by dropping a number 1. Right, if this is your first time on a live stream, just let me know by dropping a number 1. If this is your first time on one of my live streams and you're not able to actually write in the chats, it's because you have to be subscribed. Right, all you gotta do is subscribe, wait 1 minute, 60 seconds, and then you'll actually be able to go ahead and comment in the chat with everybody else. Right, but massive shout out to everybody that's new. Massive shout out to everybody that has decided to join the familia over the past week. Right, because it really does mean a lot to me personally, and that's why I actually get encouragement, with actually providing you guys with massive value. Right, so big shout out to every single one of you guys as well that are brand new to the family. Welcome to the family. Hopefully you're able to continue to get some value here. Right, but overall, guys, the markets really have not been doing much. It's been a very choppy week. These are the type of markets, guys, where you just pretty much scalp, right? Where it's scalp city, right? These are the markets where you scalp all day long, right? You're getting in and out quickly, right? You're getting in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, right? You scalp all day long. Now, besides that, right? Now that we all understand that the market's been going sideways, what can we really do to actually capitalize when the market decides to break out? Right now, why? First of all, first question that I got for you guys is, why do you guys think the market has been range bound this entire week? Right, let's see who actually has an answer for that. That's a good question. Right, that's a good question, right? Why do we believe the market has actually just been going sideways, right? Because there's probably specific reasons for this. Let me know in the chat what you guys think, all right? And then I'll give you guys my thoughts on what I think. All right, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, I'm pretty sure some of you guys are definitely going to know or probably say the same exact thing that I was going to say. All right, but because what type of data do we have getting released on Friday that is going to be a big deal? Let's see, waiting for Friday CPI. Yep. News. There we go, Jude. Yep. Preparing for CPI data. Yep. Yep. Right, we do have a lot of data that's coming up, guys. A lot of major data that's actually getting released in just a couple days, right? We have news on Friday. Exactly. Right, we have news on Friday. Yeah, exactly. Right, CPI. Right, fear. Yup. And ultimately, because of that news, right, there's a lot of uncertainty in the markets right now, right? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's just sitting on the sideline from, from a trader's perspective, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of these big boys, right, the market makers, the big dogs, right, they're also sitting on the sidelines as well, waiting to see how the data on Friday actually comes out. Right now, who actually knows what CPI actually is and what it measures? Right, again, you guys know me. I like to ask you guys the questions, right? Because I want to see who's actually participating. Because I can answer these all day by myself, but I feel like it makes it more, it just means more when you guys are able to actually answer, because then that tells me that you guys are actually paying attention. That's what I want to see. I want to see you guys paying attention, guys. So what does CPI measure? What does CPI measure? Let me know in the chats. Let's see. Waiting for news. CPI. Yep. They've been positioning themselves all week. Yep. Very possible. 100%. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Right. But CPI. Yep. Chaos. Shout out to you. Right. It is the consumer price index. Right. Which pretty much just measures inflation. Guys, every single person in this world has probably heard of the word inflation. If you just now found out about it over the past 6 months, or if you haven't, then you've probably been living under a rock. All right? Because inflation is the big thing that we've all been dealing with, guys. There's a reason why gas right now over here in the U.S. on a national average is damn near $5 because of inflation. Right? The price of goods are all going up. Inflation measures the change in the price of goods. That's what inflations do. Or that's what CPI does. Right? It measures inflation, but inflation pretty much tells us what the change in the price of goods has been. Yeah, exactly. Right? Shout out to you, Farrell. Shout out to you, Rodney. Exactly. Something about household products bought or something. Pretty much, Oscar. Well, it's more so about the change in the price of products that are being bought and sold. Right? So inflation is the big deal right now, right? Which again is a big reason why we probably see the market's just going sideways, because nobody really knows what inflation is going to come out as. Is inflation going to continue to remain higher or even come out higher than expected? Or are we finally going to see an inflection point and we see it finally start to plateau and we could possibly see inflation go down? Right? Either or can realistically happen, right? Inflation could come out higher or it could come out lower. Nobody really knows. So a lot of the people, a lot of the big boys are pretty much just sidelined right now, positioning themselves for what they think is going to happen, because they're positioning themselves based off the rumors. But ultimately, they're not really making no vast decisions right now, which is why a lot of these markets, guys, have been range bound. All right, now how I'm going to be interpreting the news on Friday, right? Because I also want to make sure that I'm getting in position before Friday. Okay? I want to get into a position before Friday's news so that when that added volatility comes in, I'm already in a good position to actually ride out the move. Because you best believe, depending on what CPI does, guys, on Friday, the market is absolutely going to start trending one way or another. whether it decides to go, and I'm speaking for all these currency pairs, by the way, right? Not just gold right now, but for all these pairs, right? Inflation can send gold lower or it could send gold higher. But whatever direction it does decide to go on, we're probably going to start flowing in that direction for some time. So we want to get into positions now, right? Tonight, maybe tomorrow, for the opportunity to ride out a nice big move. Now, if inflation comes out higher, or if inflation comes out anywhere near what we've been at, right? Which right now, year over year, inflation is at 8.5%, right? 8.5, 8.7%, 8.9%, somewhere around there, right? Which is that's high, right? The Federal Reserve's goal has always been to keep inflation at around 2 to 3%. That's actually healthy growth for an economy that's still not going to affect the overall everyday person, right? They wanted at 2 to 3%. We're at 8.5, 8.9%. We're talking about, we never seen inflation this high, guys, since the 1970s or something like that. So if inflation comes out higher or anywhere near what we've been at, showing that it is still here and that it is still very much strong, which I think it is, what is going to benefit? What currencies or what assets are going to benefit? Right now, again, this is a question mainly for, a lot of my people that been on, right? That been listening to me talk about these things, right? What can we expect to actually benefit? Risk on assets or risk off assets? Let's see who's been paying attention for real. All right, during periods of high inflation, what will be benefiting from it? Risk on assets or risk off assets? Let's see, bro. In the Bahamas, gas is $7.39. Sheesh, that's tough. So we are stalling until a clear direction, right? It's just pretty much going sideways right now, right? But again, we should already know. At least we should have a bias before the data comes out. Like, I have a potential bias, right? I have a bias that I'm going to be playing. I'm just going to be waiting for the right opportunity to get in. And if I take an L because my bias didn't come out the way I expected to, that's why I have risk management, right? That's why I'm practicing risk management in case I'm wrong, right? I'm not a psychic, right? I don't know for 100% certainty what the market's going to do. Nobody does. Right, but look at all these answers, right? During times of chaos, during times of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, you guys are 100% correct, right? Risk off assets benefit during times of chaos, during times of fear, during times of uncertainty, during times of doubt. You guys are 100% right. Look at this, man. Look at this. Now, what does that mean for all of you guys that understand this? This means that you guys are now able to position yourself in risk off assets early, right? Like, we don't have to wait for Friday. You don't want to wait for Friday. You want to position yourself early. So if it does come out the way that we expect it to, we can ride that whole move. But you guys are 100% right. We're talking about risk off assets are going to benefit, right? Probably mainly like the USD has been, again, we call it daddy dollar for a reason, right? Like, we call it daddy dollar for a reason because daddy dollar has been controlling this market overall, right? That's been like the major safe haven throughout this whole thing. Not even gold, right? Gold has been a safe haven, but it really hasn't been acting too much like it over the past, I would say, over the past couple months, few months, right? The dollar has been really on fire though. Right, a lot of people are more comfortable putting money in the dollar, even compared against the other technical safe havens that are out there, right? Because technically, gold, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, right? Those were considered safe havens for the longest. But if you really look at these markets, the Japanese yen is getting destroyed. The Swiss franc isn't doing as good as well neither. Gold. Yeah, there's been periods where the dollar and gold has increased. Right? But even that, the dollar has really been controlling the show. And we've been predicting this, guys, for a while, right? We've been calling dollar strength for a year, literally a year and a half now. Right? Anybody that used to follow me on my previous platform that I used to teach on, you guys know I've been telling you guys that the dollar was going to do exactly what it's been doing for a while now. So I believe that the dollar is really the thing that's going to benefit during high times of inflation, right? If inflation stays high on Friday, then the dollar is probably going to continue to boom, going to continue to go higher. So how can we use that to our advantage, right? Well, let's go ahead and break this down real quick, right? Because if we have a bullish dollar, right? Bullish dollar, that's my prediction, right? Pairs that end in USD should do what? Let me know in the chats. Right, again, this is bringing it back to the basics real quick, right? Understanding correlations. Right, if we have a bullish US dollar, then anything that ends in USD, what should we expect those type of currency pairs to do? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chats. Right, we should expect these ones, guys, to be bearish. Right, we should expect these markets, these pairs, to sell off. Yep, sell, bear, go down. Shout out to Puerto Rico in the building. I see you, Christopher. What's good, dog? Yeah, right, bearish, go down, bearishness, 100%. Right, we got the boy Willie in the house too. I see my guy Willie. What's good, baby? Appreciate you, bro, for jumping on. 100%. Right, during times of when we expect the dollar to gain strength, which is what I'm predicting, which is what we've been predicting for a while, anything that ends in USD should go down because the dollar is a strong currency pair. Right, it's a strong currency in that pair. Right now, what happens with pairs that begin in USD? Right, what should we expect these to do? Let me know in the chats. Right, let me know in the chats. Right, for pairs that actually begin in USD, we should expect these to actually rise or go up or be bullish. Right, rise, go up, or be bullish. This is very basic stuff, guys, right? But when you understand this type of basic information, especially when you understand, and this is how the cycle goes, right? This is really how I like to trade, right? I can't speak for everybody else, right? But this is how I like to trade, right? And how I like to put my whole thing together, right? Is I read, not the technicals, I read fundamentals. Okay, I read the fundamentals. Right? Then from fundamentals, that leads me into sentiment, right? Creating sentiment, figuring out what the overall sentiment of the market is going to be based off the fundamental data that's actually being out there. Okay. And then from sentiment, then we go ahead and identify the correlations. Okay. We identify the correlations in the market and how we can actually play the correlations, right? Which is pretty much what we just spoke about right here, right? Just really just figuring out what currencies are going to do, right? Correlations. And then that brings us into really identifying the technicals, right? Then that's when we're actually able to go ahead and truly figure out what the market is going to do from a technical perspective so that we can actually get aligned with what our fundamentals and our sentiment and all that good stuff is actually saying, right? But this is how I like to approach this is how I create a setup, right? When I create a setup, guys, it's not just me trying to find a support level or a resistance level or supply and demand or all this smart money talk, right? It's not about trying to find imbalances and order blocks and mitigation zones. It's like all that plays a part, but all that is like the last piece to the puzzle, right? All that is the last piece of the puzzle, right? I use all that stuff, all that information more so to identify entries, right? But the first thing that I do is I need to figure out a fundamental bias first, which is what I did with you guys, right? We understand we have CPI data. Inflation is probably going to come out high. It's going to stay high, right? So that's going to lead into sentiment, right? The sentiment in the market is now possibly going to be that we're going to be more risk off sentiment because of the data that's probably going to come out that's going to be negative for the economy, right? So fundamentals, the data, sentiment, how people are going to interpret the data, how people feel off of that data, right? Which then we actually use the correlations to understand how certain currency pairs are going to react to that data. And then we use technical analysis to find an entry off of everything that we initially came into play. Now, the big thing that, again, most traders do, and I get it, right? There are traders out there, guys, that are profitable with only using technicals. I get it, right? But that's going to be a very, very few amount of people, right? Like, a big reason why 95% of traders do not succeed is probably because they're only using one form of analysis. That's a bar. All right, a big reason why a lot of people do not really succeed is because they're relying on one form of analysis to make a decision. They don't have the full scope of everything, right? They don't understand the full story. See, when you actually look at the market from this perspective and you're using all the forms of analysis and you're putting it all together, see, now you're actually getting a crazy story. Now you're putting that whole story together. And once you have the story together, now you're going to be a lot more confident in what the story's actually what the story's actually saying. Does this make sense, guys? Right? It's like every single aspect right here is a chapter in the story, right? And you need to put all the chapters together to really understand the full context of the entire thing. Right? Drop some threes if this is making sense real quick, right? Because this is, again, very, like, this is powerful information I'm giving you guys right now. Like, this is the information that I know for a fact. Once you guys are really understanding all of these forms of analysis, right, and then able to use these forms of analysis to understand correlations and then really understand, once you get all this, this is why this community is going to have a high success rate when it comes to really being profitable in this game. This is the reason why. This information right here that I'm giving y'all. Because you guys are aware of these things. This is the real sauce. This is why we're all going to be very successful. Is because I'm putting you guys onto game that you probably never even heard anywhere else. This is that real sauce. Right, shout out to Mr. Stricker in the building. I appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Right, welcome to our newest subscriber. We got Frederick in the building as well. Shout out to Frederick. Bruce, what's going on? Right, appreciate you guys subscribing. Definitely means a lot. Right, but when you put the pieces of the puzzle together, you have the full context of what the market is going to do. And that's what's going to give you the confidence to actually trade in a profitable manner without being emotionally attached to everything that's going on. Right? Too many traders are only relying on one chapter of the book. Right? Like, think about this, guys, right? If I gave you guys an assignment to give me the overall context of a big story, but yet you only had the ability to read one chapter in the entire story that has like 5 to 10 different chapters, how confident are you going to be when it comes to actually coming back to me and saying, yo, Abel, this book is about this, and this? You're probably not going to be that confident. Because you don't understand what is being said in these other chapters. You have no idea what these other chapters are saying because you only looked at that one chapter. It's the same concept when it comes to trading. Right? If you're only looking at things from one perspective, then yeah, it's going to be very hard for you to really see the long-term results that you're after. Again, most traders are not seeing results, not because they can't do it. Give me 1 second, guys. Baby girl woke up scared. All right, we back. Is this making sense, though, guys? I know it is. Right? This is powerful information that you guys are getting here. Right? So like I said, for me, going into this week, right? Going into this weekend, right? Or at least into Friday with major data getting released, inflationary reports getting released, I'm still going to be looking for this to occur, right? This is going to be my bias. So what I want to do, right, with all of these pairs that we're going to be looking at, is I want to start to position myself in a way that I'm able to take advantage of the volatility that is going to come from that actually news release. Let's see, how you going to know the story started if you only read the ending? Yup, I'm telling you, Kyle, that's a bar. Right, now that we're actually bringing it, I just want to make a quick pause real quick, right? Right below the charts, I am hosting a 5-day virtual bootcamp. Okay, it's going to be in about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. June 27th through July 1st. It is a 5-day boot camp that is going to be going in depth on a lot of these things that I'm talking about right now. Right. In fact, let me go ahead and really just talk to you guys. And I'm bringing this up because this is important, guys. Right. Because I can only do so much on these streams. Right. And I only want to do so much on these streams. I don't want to overdo it. But on day one of the boot camp, it's probably going to be the most important day because we're going to be talking about mindset and discipline and putting all that stuff into perspective, right? The importance of what it takes to really understand trading and really just understand the habits, right? Remember, what separates the profitable traders from the non-profitable traders is the habits that they develop, right? So day number one is going to be about mindset, discipline, and habits. Probably going to be the most important day, okay? Day number two, we're going to go in depth on understanding fundamental and sentimental analysis. Knowing how to read data, for one, understanding the most important data releases, then also understanding how to correlate those data releases to sentiment, how the markets are going to react to these things. And then we're going to use that information to then eventually go ahead and figure out how we can get involved in the markets. Day number three is where we're going to go all in with technical analysis, right? We're talking about understanding price action. We're talking about understanding market structure. We're talking about understanding, retail ideology and the difference between smart money ideology, smart money concepts. Right? We're going to really be breaking down the technical analysis. I'm going to show you guys that it's really that's the easiest part of this whole thing. Right? Like technical analysis, guys, knowing how to do the chart work, that's going to be the easiest part of this whole thing, right? But we're going to go in depth so you guys have a lot more confidence when it comes to actually marking up your charts as well on day number three. Day number four is going to be all about risk management, money management, and trade management. Three very important components. Risk management, money management, and trade management. That's day number four. And then day number five, we're going to be putting it all together. Right, we're going to be putting it all together, right? Day number five, guys, is when we actually go ahead and we create a plan for you guys, right? We create a routine. And on this day is really where we start to put everything together that we just spoke about. And this is where we're going to be creating a rule-based system around all the concepts so that you guys, once you leave that boot camp, you guys have a lot more confidence to dominate the markets, right? I see we got Creative Eat in the building. Shout out to you, Creative. I appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Right, so if you guys are interested in being a part of a 5-day boot camp with me, well, again, we're doing at least 2 hours, right? We're going to be doing at least 2 hours a day. At least 2 hours, right? We might go even further because it's going to be very interactive. It's not going to be here on YouTube. It's going to be via Zoom, right? It's going to be done on Zoom so that we can all have conversations back and forth. All right, because I want to be able to ask you guys, or I want to be able to go ahead and just teach you guys some things. You guys ask me questions in real time, not through actually typing. No, I want to hear your guys' voice, right? Ask me questions and I'll be able to give you answers in real time. And we just really go ahead and just, take things up a whole nother level. Right, so if you're interested in that, there is a form that you can fill right in the description down below. I want you to fill that form and then also go ahead and send an email right to the email that's also down there so that you can secure your spot. Right, we already got a bunch of people that already secured their spots. Right, shout out to every single one of y'all that already locked in your spot. I appreciate y'all. I promise you this boot camp is going to change the game for you. Right, but if you want to be a part of that, then definitely make sure to go ahead and hit that form, drop all the information, answer the questions, and then make sure to send me an email. Send me an email, right? The email is going to be 5-day boot camp. Right, let me actually see what what it is actually. The email is 5D Pro Trader Bootcamp at gmail.com. Right, 5D for 5-day. Right, Pro Trader Bootcamp at gmail.com. Okay, it's all in the description down below, right? So don't forget to do that after this call. I promise you, anybody that does participate, you're going to be that much closer to actually getting to it. All right, let's see. What time is it looking for the Zooms? Right, we're probably going I'm trying to do it at a specific time to where it's beneficial for everybody. So as of right now, I'm thinking around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just because it's not going to be too early, because in the mornings I'm being daddy, right? I'm daddy, I'm a father, I'm a husband during the day. Right, but around 6, 7 p.m. Eastern, and then we're gonna go ahead and just go, forever how long. It is all gonna be recorded, right? Anybody that does participate in the boot camp will also get the recording as well, so that you guys can always watch it and rewatch it and rewatch it 1,000 times if you want. Right, that's my shameless plug for the night. I'm just throwing it out there. Right, again, I want to see a lot of you guys succeed, and I feel like that's gonna be the best way to really help you guys out as well, as by giving you guys this 5-day boot camp. And I promise you, it's nowhere near the cost of a lot of these other boot camps out there. Nowhere near. All right, so let's see what else we got here, guys. Let's go ahead and get back into the markets now. All right, so again, let's look at a few setups now and see what we can really do. All right, see what we can really do and really take advantage of, going into CPI data on Friday. All right, so for me, one of my favorite pairs I'm going to be looking at is going to be EURUSD, GBPUSD. I'm definitely going to be looking at a bunch of these dollar correlated pairs to see what we can ultimately come up with. Now I'm going to erase everything right here for EURUSD, and I want to see more downside, guys, right? I want to see more selling pressure for the euro itself. Right now I'm going to be keeping my eyes on a few different levels. Right now, again, if you guys notice how I'm doing my key levels, I don't waste too much time trying to perfect the key level. No, I just identify areas of structure where price has clearly reacted from in the past, and I utilize those areas to really help me figure out how price reacts from those areas, right? Because this is a big thing that I do, guys, right? When I actually identify key levels, okay, there's two ways to do it. You can either just take the trade directly off that key level, or what you can also do is when price gets to those key levels, especially if you're doing it from a higher time frame, that's when you go to lower time frame, and then you actually wait for price to tell you what the market is about to do. Right, you wait for price to give you the heads up of what can actually happen, right? And we do that by seeing price action, reading price action around those key levels is crucial. All right, so what I think I'm going to be looking for going into tonight, guys, right? Literally going into tonight for EURUSD, we already reacted off of a key level, but we're at a pretty interesting level right now. Okay, now I'm expecting selling pressure to come in off of the actual release. Right, where do you see the Dixie going after CPI? I believe we're going to be bullish. All right, I believe we're going to be bullish. All right, the dollar is going to be bullish. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll take my L and I'll come back next week, and reanalyze the markets then, right? But I'm thinking we're going to be bullish. So if we're bullish the dollar, then I want to see some selling pressure come into play for the euro. Okay, now when can we actually start looking for selling opportunities? Here's the question. Right, well, again, I'm gonna be honest. I'm very interested in seeing how price continues to react, guys, from these areas that we're actually at. Right, like these areas right now that we're actually testing is like these are areas where we could realistically see price actually go ahead and really start shorting from. So what I'm gonna be looking for going into tonight, right, and seeing how we actually are by the morning, is I want to see how price actually reacts from this level up here. Right, it'll be very interesting to see how price reacts from the 1.073 level, because that's where I think we might potentially see price actually go ahead and shift lower, right? So there's gonna be two different things I'm looking for, right? I want to see price come up to here, and give us a bearish reaction. But another thing I'm going to be keeping my eyes on as well is if we actually end up breaking this level that we just tested, right? This 1.071 level. If we actually end up breaking this level, then that in itself, guys, I'm selling the hell out of that. All right, I'm selling the hell out of that. Now, again, keep in mind, we still have a whole day till CPI, so the markets might just stay range bound until the data. So if we do get an entry up here or an entry on a break and retest, you either have to understand what you're doing or don't take the trade at all, right? Because what I'm going to be personally doing, if we look at this level up here, guys, I'm very comfortable with taking a short from there. If price continue going higher, then it is what it is. I'll take my L, right? Or if price breaks this level, we retest, and then I look for an area of, or if we're looking for a sell from there, same concept. We take it, we gonna ride it out. But what I'm also gonna be doing is that when price starts to get back to these levels of structure down here on the downside, that's where I'm definitely gonna be protecting myself, right? I'm going to be going break even on a lot of these positions. I'm going to go risk free on a lot of these positions so that in case the market does just continue to stay range bound and it decides to come all the way back up, it is what it is. I'll get stopped out at break even, right? Because you really don't know what the market's going to do, right? Again, there's a few things that we can control in these markets, and one of them is not market direction. We don't have control over market direction. The market going to do what it wants to do regardless. That's not in our control, okay? We control what we're going to take the trade, what we're going to risk, and all that good stuff. All right, so again, ultimately, I think we could really see potential selling pressure come in from here. And I could be wrong because, again, we did, and this is a little bit of a riskier play because we did just have some bullish structure come in, right? But I would not be surprised, guys, that, again, I'm leaning towards a bearish Euro USD to come in. So even though we did have bullish structure come in, right, where we technically broke this high, it is a little bit riskier. But I'm still comfortable taking that because if we're right and price does shift from there and start going lower, then we're gonna have a really good trade to take advantage of. Like a really, really good trade. Okay, so family, just one thing, if you guys have been getting value so far, just do me one solid and go ahead and like this video. Right? If you guys been getting any type of value, go ahead and just do me one solid and like this video. Definitely helps out tremendously with the actual algorithm, right? Tremendously with the algorithm. Right, so that's what I'm gonna be looking for, seeing how price reacts here. If price doesn't actually react from there and continues going higher, then back all the way back up at these highs, I'll be seeing how price reacts from up here. Right, but I'm really interested in something like that. Right, now let's go take a look at GBPUSD, right, which is again something else that I was really keeping my eyes on. I really haven't traded too much. You know, I took some trades at the beginning of the week, but a lot of the trades did come back towards entry, and I got stopped out on a couple of the positions. Right, I took profit on a bunch of it, right, but I did get stopped out on a few of the positions, and then I started realizing what type of conditions that we're dealing with. Right, very range bound. So I've been on the sidelines a lot. So I think I'm only in one position right now. All right, only one position right now. All right, but let's take a look at GBPUSD and see what we can ultimately really look at, right? And see what we're about to come out as, or see what we could potentially see the market ultimately do. All right, and anytime I come in the market, guys, I really like to take a look at the bigger perspective always, no matter what. All right, because bigger time frame is just so key, right? So obviously we have this level of structure up here that we just tested, right? We have this level of structure right here that we're pretty much testing. This is the little range that we're pretty much stuck in. I'm expecting long term for this to continue selling off. CPI is predicted negative. Yeah, CPI itself, regular CPI, is definitely expected to come out higher than the previous month. All right, definitely. All right, which is going to cause a lot of fear in the markets. Right, so overall, guys, keep in mind, my blueprint is eventually to find an opportunity to short this thing. Right, I think we're going to see more downside more than anything for pound dollar. Okay, so now let's start going lower time frame and see what we can ultimately look for, right? See if there's any opportunities that we could potentially go ahead and take advantage of, right? So one area that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on, guys, right, going into tonight, to see if we can get a potential entry is probably going to be a retest back up to this level up here. All right, if we can see this 1.258 continue to hold, then I really like the potential for this thing to continue shorting. Right, in fact, like even where we're at now, I would not be surprised if price actually really started to shift lower from these areas that we're actually near right now. Right, because again, this is another level of structure that we're pretty much playing off right now. Right, so even right here, right, seeing price, we could see this thing really start to shift lower from these areas. Right, what we can do is let's go even lower time from now, 15-minute. Right, 15-minute time frame. What are we seeing? Right, we're starting to see the market really start to at least create some type of bearish structure. Again, we do got to keep in mind it is the Asian session, right? So, you know, Asian session is a very, I'm not going to say a tough session to trade, but most of the time it's very range bound. But we've seen this, look at impulsive move. We've seen this correction occur right here. We finally started to break the correction with a break of structure. We pulled back very shortly. And now we're starting creating bearish structure, right? So right here, if price continues to hold this level, we're probably going to end up running these lows right here, right? We're probably going to end up running these lows. And then from there, again, that could be the start of this move much, much lower, right? So I would not be surprised, guys, if GBPUSD by the morning time is actually trading all the way down to around 1.248, 1.25 levels. So for anybody that's trading pound pairs, I'm personally, and again, I could be wrong, right? And I want you guys to understand that because I feel like a lot of people have a misconception that traders need to win 100% of the time. That is not true, right? Traders don't win 100% of the time, right? We create a bias and we trade the probabilities. I feel like the probabilities to the downside is going to be much higher than the probabilities to the upside simply because of the data that's probably going to be, you know, coming out. So I want to see more downside, right? I want to see more downside. Now, again, right? I'm going to be sitting on my hands a lot because I understand what's happening, right? So I'm going to be sitting on my hands unless I actually get a reason to want to go ahead and jump in, right? So we'll see what happens overall. But ultimately, I want to see this thing continue to sell off. All right, let's go to take a look at gold. Now, gold is going to be a very tricky one, right? Just because, again, it really hasn't been acting as much of a safe haven as it normally does. Now, again, I typically am very, very much bullish gold. You know, I would love to see gold continue to go higher. I think we are going to see gold continue to go higher personally. I think we really are, right? But the matter of the question is where or when, from what levels is price going to go higher? All right, well, we're at a very interesting level right here, and price has the ability to go higher from these levels. But again, I'm very indecisive right now as well for even gold. Even though I am long-term bullish on gold, it's very tough for me to say, oh yeah, we're definitely going to fly off of CPI data because it really hasn't been acting, it hasn't been doing too well against the dollar, at least as of lately. It really hasn't. Right, so even this is something that we got to just be very, very cautious about. Now, again, I am long-term bullish. I do think we're eventually going to see gold absolutely smash 1900. Absolutely come all the way back up to even possibly 2000 eventually. It's just how we actually get the reaction from the data itself is going to be very, very interesting. All right, so I'm bullish gold as well. All right, going into tonight, seeing how we play out, and then by the data on Friday, that's when we might really have to just say, yo, let's see what actually happens. All right, but I'm bullish gold, right? I really don't like actually. You know, I don't sell gold too often, right? I'm a big fan of buying gold, especially just because of the state of the economies and things like that right now, right? So I like this. I like the move higher for gold, right? I like the move higher for gold. Okay, where can we actually look for a trade from? Well, if we pull back down to this level down here, right? This might be a good area to look for a buy. 1851. All right, if we come back down to around this 1851 level. This could really be a nice opportunity to go ahead and get involved. Right, and then go ahead and see if we can target back up to the highs. All right, this will be a nice opportunity right here. All right, looking like something like this. Pull back down 1851.7 and then go ahead and target all the way up to around 1859.5. Right, which if you look at the risk to reward, that's a freaking phenomenal risk to reward. right? 8-to-1 risk to reward, which is always great, right? High risk to reward is always a good thing more than anything, guys. So yeah, I really want to see this thing continue to go higher for sure, right? And see how we ultimately play out. But this is what I'll be looking for if I was going to trade this going into tonight, right? We're on a 5-minute time frame, right? Smaller time frame. So if we're able to really see price pull back here, 1851.8, 1851.7, then I like that, right? I like that move higher. All right, so this is actually one I'm going to keep on my radar personally. I'm going to keep this one on my radar as well. And I might end up setting that actually going into tonight. Right now, AUD/USD, right, is actually one that I'm very interested in, right? Just because AUD/USD, guys, you know, their interest rates actually did went up. They actually had an interest rate release, I believe it was yesterday. All right, yep, yesterday they had their cash rate vote, and they're, you know, they actually raised interest rates, right? They actually raised their rate, which pretty much everyone is, right, besides the yen. So what I think can actually happen, I would love to see this actually go ahead and spike up, retest this supply zone, and then go ahead and ultimately sell off. All right, and again, that's just what I'm leaning towards right now, right? I really trade based off what I think can actually happen, and that's it, right? But I would not be surprised if we actually did see a little bit of momentum gain for the Australian dollar based off this current data that I just released. But then ultimately, if we're able to see price come above the 0.72 level, 0.727, I'm going to be looking for opportunities to absolutely short this thing right back down to the downside. Absolutely. All right, so that's really what I'm going to be looking for, guys, and waiting for going into tonight for the Australian dollar. Or price can also break the lows, and at that point, we can also go ahead and expect more downside as well. All right, so that's something else I'm going to be keeping my eyes on, guys, and really just seeing how it ends up playing out. Again, AUD/USD is another one I'm going to keep on my radar. Those are ones that I'm really interested in, gold and AUD/USD. Right now, let's go ahead and take a look at a fan favorite, pound yen. Right, pound yen, again, this is, I mean, this thing has just been absolutely on fire. I mean, last week, was it last week? It was either last week or this week on the video that I do every single Sunday. You know, we pretty much already spoke about what I thought was going to happen for the pound. And, I mean, it did exactly what I expected it, right? Where we had a lot of strength really come into play. Right, so what I think, guys, I still think we're going to eventually really come all the way up to around this 176 level for pound yen. I really do believe that we're going to see the pound yen eventually make its way all the way up, right, to around that 176 level. But before we actually go up there is a possibility for price to just continue going, right? It is possible. But I think after we actually clear this supply zone, which we're actually testing at now, right? If we actually do continue to come higher from these levels, I think we're going to see a deeper correction finally happen for the pound yen, only to eventually send us up much higher, right? Just because if we actually do come into this supply zone and actually run this supply zone up here, which we already did spike above it, you know, that might cause for a lot of profit taking, you know, for the pound yen, right? Which can obviously cause price to really decrease back down. So overall, I'm still going to be buying this. It's just a matter of seeing if what we're going to do around the supply zone that we're at right now. But overall, I still do want to go ahead and buy this up for sure, right? If we continue to buy this, and that will be absolutely phenomenal. We just got to be patient, right? And see what the market's ultimately going to do, right? I mean, we can go to smaller time frames and try to find an entry on smaller time frames all day long if you want. Or like really try to read these smaller time frame structure points and try to ride that for continuations. You know, but since we are at just such a strong level, we gotta be mindful that there could be a pullback. Right? We have to be mindful that a pullback is probably eventually gonna happen somewhere soon. Right? And that's just having awareness to understand where we're actually at in terms of the chart. All right, so for pound yen, like I said, I'm going to be very cautious. I'm going to be probably on the sidelines for this one just to see how we really react off of that. And then once we make a big move, then I'll be able to really understand what's going to happen next, right? Because price could do either or. It could either continue going higher, right? And it's very possible that it might. Or we can actually, for some reason, start to see more of a pullback before we actually end up continuing to go higher. Right, and it's really just because of where we're at, right? We're at a very significant level right now in price, where, you know, a bunch of different things could really occur. right? A bunch of different things. So we're going to be a little bit more cautious with that. A little bit more cautious. Right now, ultimately, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at these indices. Right, again, I know a fan favorite for a lot of people. Now, again, for me personally, if interest rates, or if not interest rates, but inflation does come out higher, then these things, in my opinion, are just going to tank. Right, if inflation does continue to come out high, then these things are absolutely going to tank. And that's what I believe is going to happen, right? Again, if, and this is only if interest rates, or not, keep saying interest rate, if inflation comes out higher, then this is probably going to continue to sell off. Now, if inflation actually comes out much lower, right? So we haven't even spoke about the other side, right? What if inflation actually comes out lower than projections? See, then it's going to be the opposite, right? If inflation comes out lower than was predicted, then that's going to bring a lot of optimism in the markets, which is going to cause these indices to absolutely fly, right? These things are going to start flying if inflation does come out lower than what's expected. Okay, I hope this makes sense, right? If inflation does, and I want to repeat this, if inflation does come out higher, then we're probably going to sell off. If inflation comes out lower, then we're probably going to go ahead and really buy up, right? Really see a lot of the market increasing off of that data. Okay. And we got Big Bert in the building once again. Shout out to Bert, man. Always massive supporter of the channel. You know what, Bert? Right, since you support the channel so much, man, and I appreciate every single time that you do support the channel, going ahead and dropping the 20 bomb in the building, I'm actually going to make you a moderator to the actual stream here. Right, because I clearly see that you show massive love, massive support, right? And like I said, I always like to put people in position that show me love and show me support. So Bert, my man, you have just been awarded a moderator position now, right? And obviously when it comes to being a moderator, that does come with a little bit of responsibility, right? But now you're actually able to go ahead and ban people that are talking crazy, right? You're able to really go ahead and kick people out and really just moderate the chats. And I just feel like that's just a dope title to have in a dope position. But that's just a token for me to you, because you constantly show love, you constantly support the channel. And yeah, I want to just give you that extra little title, man. All right, so I do appreciate you though, Bert. It really does mean a lot. All right, it really does mean a lot. All right, family, again, everybody else, anybody that I see supporting the channel is also going to be given a lot more leeway, a lot more opportunities to grow as well. Right? So it's just pretty much, you're allowed to now, you know, pretty much just moderate the chat, bro. You know, it's a cool little title that you get. Also gives you a level of respect amongst the community. You know, believe it or not, but, you know, titles are a big thing in communities, right? So now you get a higher level of respect as well. Right? So I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Right, so ultimately, like I said, guys, right, if CPI, which comes out on Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay, that's when CPI comes out. If it comes out higher, we're going to be risk off. If it comes out lower, we're going to be risk on sentiment. All right. So that's pretty much how we're going to play it ultimately. That's how we're going to play it overall. All right, let's see. Trading has also helped me become a better person. 100%. All right, helped me out tremendously for sure. All right, helped me out tremendously. Let's see. Drop your IG. Yeah, Bert, go ahead and drop your IG in the chat. 100%. Family, once my guy Bert drops his Instagram, if he has one, definitely go ahead and show him love. All right, show him hella love. Show him hella love. Show him hella love. Because he definitely deserves it. Respect my authority, right? Yeah, exactly, right? I definitely appreciate you though, my brother. But family, without further ado, man, again, just a few last announcements. Make sure to go ahead and be a part of the boot camp if you guys really want to take things up another level. The last boot camp that I did was absolutely on fire. It was an absolute hit. It was, though, a part of my previous platform that I used to educate for. You know, I did a 5-day boot camp that went in depth with a lot of things. It was really talking a lot about smart money concepts. But this boot camp is going to be 10 times better than my last boot camp. right? So again, please go to the description go to the description of this video. Make sure to fill out the form, and then also make sure to send me an email to the email that's there, so that we can go ahead and really get you positioned in a way to grow and get better with trading overall, right? So family, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys for supporting me. Big Bert, I appreciate you once again, my brother, for supporting the channel. Right, I look forward to seeing a lot of you guys really go ahead and grow into moderators as well. Now, I'm not saying you have to donate or anything like that to do it, but you know, it definitely just means a lot when I get people supporting me and things like that. Right, so family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me. It was another phenomenal session. Very slow session because again, there's really not much we can do when the markets are choppy like this. But we will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, analyzing the market, seeing what we can really get from it. And I hope that we all just continue to get better overall. So family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me. And I'll see you guys on the inside. Let's get it.